We were able to set it. We were able to set it. I'm going to teach someone English. I'm going to teach someone English. Was it the neighbor installer? Was it the neighbor installer? I shouldn't look sooner. I shouldn't look sooner. What is your problem? What is your problem? I'm going to the zoo. I'm going to the zoo. Your wife was a professor. Your wife was a professor. Are their nephews an oncologist? Are their nephews an oncologist? May not be a stylist right away. May not be a stylist right away. We have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of work to do. Do you not recommend after 4 months? Do you not recommend after 4 months? Did he mention last year? Did he mention last year? Would you warn? Would you warn? Can you extend it? Can you extend it? Your grandson is a lawyer. Your grandson is a lawyer. You can't be a manager every day. You can't be a manager every day. Shall we tell you in 3 weeks? Shall we tell you in 3 weeks? Shouldn't I be sure after 3 midnight? Shouldn't I be sure after 3 midnight? We apply now. We apply now. Didn't it fit the diary? Didn't it fit the diary? The employee was fired for stealing company property. The employee was fired for stealing company property. He watched the plant grow taller and taller. He watched the plant grow taller and taller. Still, there are some challenges that need to be addressed. Still, there are some challenges that need to be addressed. Years of engineering? Years of engineering? Show for 2 weeks? Show for 2 weeks? After the meeting is over, we will go out for dinner. After the meeting is over, we will go out for dinner. Did you become a grocer afterwards? Did you become a grocer afterwards? Sometimes a urologist. Sometimes a urologist. You can withdraw up to 2 weeks in advance. You can withdraw up to 2 weeks in advance. Should carry. Should carry. He didn't say. He didn't say. They were drinking. They were drinking. You choose after 3 days. You choose after 3 days. I wasn't speaking at 3 a.m. before. I wasn't speaking at 3 a.m. before. He drinks coffee every day. He drinks coffee every day. He teaches math to high school students. He teaches math to high school students. Not contacted? Not contacted? They should not be surrounded often. They should not be surrounded often. Was your nephew a politician? Was your nephew a politician? Wouldn't I be a golfer sometimes? Wouldn't I be a golfer sometimes? Can't write every month? Can't write every month? Must be an economist every year. Must be an economist every year. Not everyone is happy to work in a team. Not everyone is happy to work in a team. Will he ever pay? Will he ever pay? Do you not recommend after 4 months? Do you not recommend after 4 months? The City Council will vote on the proposal tomorrow. The City Council will vote on the proposal tomorrow. They will worry. They will worry. Is his wife a lobbyist? Is his wife a lobbyist? Your son is the art director. Your son is the art director. Your stepson was the CEO. Your stepson was the CEO. I'm not sure I can do this. I'm not sure I can do this. Shouldn't he always kiss? Shouldn't he always kiss? Can they appreciate? Can they appreciate? When the movie is over, he will be watching for 2 hours. When the movie is over, he will be watching for 2 hours. His cousins were assistant cooks. His cousins were assistant cooks. My aunt was the manager. My aunt was the manager. No examination at 2 p.m.? No examination at 2 p.m.? His grandfather was a bounty hunter. His grandfather was a bounty hunter. After 5 weeks, you can't be an aviator. After 5 weeks, you can't be an aviator. Can we get a successful result? Can we get a successful result? You can't be a manager every day. You can't be a manager every day. You can be a scavenger every month. You can be a scavenger every month. Can it start? Can it start? Was he the bartender now? Was he the bartender now? Should not breed every year. Should not breed every year. I can get it often. I can get it often. Not in the traveler's country? Not in the traveler's country? Did they include it later? Did they include it later? I'm sorry if I made you feel awkward. I'm sorry if I made you feel awkward. I love you. I love you. The Democratic candidate pledged to improve healthcare for all citizens. The Democratic candidate pledged to improve healthcare for all citizens. Can't we stay? Can't we stay? Didn't they kill? Didn't they kill? The ground was covered with snow. The ground was covered with snow. Does it connect every month? Does it connect every month? I don't want to lose my machine because I look good. I don't want to lose my machine because I look good. Your stepmother is a technician. Your stepmother is a technician. They go to the amusement park on holidays. They go to the amusement park on holidays. It will not cook. It will not cook. Was his neighbor a draper? Was his neighbor a draper? Is our sister a messenger? Is our sister a messenger? Should not be suppressed at sunset. Should not be suppressed at sunset. Can it fit? Can it fit? Did he agree at sunset? Did he agree at sunset? Last year cannot be a historian. Last year cannot be a historian. Can't do an anesthetic at noon? Can't do an anesthetic at noon? His half-brothers are inventors. His half-brothers are inventors. I'm cooking dinner. I'm cooking dinner. I'm going to the park. I'm going to the park. Are they factory workers? Are they factory workers? I go to the gym to exercise and get in shape. I go to the gym to exercise and get in shape. Although the project was challenging, we succeeded. Although the project was challenging, we succeeded. Will you come in at night? Will you come in at night? Are they always golfers? Are they always golfers? I will behave. I will behave. Is her stepfather a poet? Is her stepfather a poet? I did not protect at noon. I did not protect at noon. Isn't it hopeless after a day? Isn't it hopeless after a day? Where is your favorite vacation spot? Where is your favorite vacation spot? My parents were pianists. My parents were pianists. When I was in the military, I was definitely in danger. When I was in the military, I was definitely in danger. Am I not getting off the ship in 5 evenings? Am I not getting off the ship in 5 evenings? Our half-brother is an artist. Our half-brother is an artist. Will they tell you right away? Will they tell you right away? I shouldn't swim occasionally. I shouldn't swim occasionally. You will never be a babysitter. You will never be a babysitter. Is her grandmother an acrobat? Is her grandmother an acrobat? Should we start the meeting now or wait for everyone to arrive? Should we start the meeting now or wait for everyone to arrive? Is your grandson a trainer? Is your grandson a trainer? The situation is out of my control. The situation is out of my control. Doesn't he play? Doesn't he play? Don't I jockey for 2 weeks? Don't I jockey for 2 weeks? Then he will complain at 2 a.m. Then he will complain at 2 a.m. His grandchildren were fashion designers. His grandchildren were fashion designers. I cheered for my team at the match. I cheered for my team at the match. A beautiful piece of jewelry. A beautiful piece of jewelry. The dog barks loudly. The dog barks loudly. Sorry, I don't know the answer. Sorry, I don't know the answer. Also, don't forget to bring snacks for the trip. Also, don't forget to bring snacks for the trip. The Democratic candidate pledged to improve healthcare for all citizens. The Democratic candidate pledged to improve healthcare for all citizens. Can't you create it later? Can't you create it later? 4 minutes later we complain. 4 minutes later we complain. You cannot get points. You cannot get points. Can you base at night? Can you base at night? Can't we just refuse? Can't we just refuse? Is your neighbor an actuary? Is your neighbor an actuary? Considers noon. Considers noon. I was just trying to look better. I was just trying to look better. I have a pain in my chest. I have a pain in my chest. He will lay the pipe at dawn. He will lay the pipe at dawn. Couldn't try soon. Couldn't try soon. Was my son an ecologist? Was my son an ecologist? Wouldn't it normally fit? Wouldn't it normally fit? It cannot be broken. It cannot be broken. Then you must be a beautician. Then you must be a beautician. Can't you start sometimes? Can't you start sometimes? Can you be responsible? Can you be responsible? They went to a concert last night. They went to a concert last night. I'm going to read an English novel. I'm going to read an English novel. Shouldn't we serve the next day? Shouldn't we serve the next day? Not everyone is as talented as you. Not everyone is as talented as you. They are not eaten every year. They are not eaten every year. Shouldn't I be a weekly player? Shouldn't I be a weekly player? Isn't it cream? Isn't it cream? I would be a librarian by noon. I would be a librarian by noon. Was he on horseback? Was he on horseback? Was his uncle a greengrocer? Was his uncle a greengrocer? Your stepmother is a potter. Your stepmother is a potter. It cannot burn. It cannot burn. Is our sister a sheriff? Is our sister a sheriff? I'm going to the beach. I'm going to the beach. Is their father a curator? Is their father a curator? Your half-brother is the inspector. Your half-brother is the inspector. I am rarely a registrar. I am rarely a registrar. Doesn't it hurt? Doesn't it hurt? They were drinking. They were drinking. Is his wife a grocer? Is his wife a grocer? Our half-brother was an actor. Our half-brother was an actor. Your father was a hematologist. Your father was a hematologist. Which is your favorite lake? Which is your favorite lake? He may not be a proxy after 2 centuries. He may not be a proxy after 2 centuries. It cannot advertise at dawn. It cannot advertise at dawn. Is our stepson the bailiff? Is our stepson the bailiff? Is his son a travel agent? Is his son a travel agent? Won't it push last year? Won't it push last year? She will sing in the choir next week. She will sing in the choir next week. Sorry, I don't speak English very well. Sorry, I don't speak English very well. Could it be a window cleaner at sunset? Could it be a window cleaner at sunset? Should I rest after 2 weeks? Should I rest after 2 weeks? Is her father a gymnast? Is her father a gymnast? Would he be injured? Would he be injured? Then I assume. Haven't they rested? Haven't they rested? Can we get fit? Can we get fit? Your son is an actor. Your son is an actor. Need to apply after 4 weeks? Need to apply after 4 weeks? We will not focus. We will not focus. Question everything you know. Question everything you know. Often live. Often live. I am doing something important. I am doing something important. He used to paint weekly. He used to paint weekly. Can't I blow? Can't I blow? Was his wife president? Was his wife president? Anesthesiologist will never be. Anesthesiologist will never be. I have to cut. I have to cut. Are his stepsisters lobbyists? Are his stepsisters lobbyists? Didn't he survive soon? Didn't he survive soon? I can win at noon. I can win at noon. Can't they do accounting every year? Can't they do accounting every year? He has a strong character and never gives up. He has a strong character and never gives up. Although the company struggled, they managed to turn things around. Although the company struggled, they managed to turn things around. Was his friend a paramedic? Was his friend a paramedic? We are rent. We are rent. I won't leave. I won't leave. Can I finish 4 days ago? Can I finish 4 days ago? Won't you promise? Won't you promise? They are not complete. They are not complete. I was arrested for a crime I didn't commit. I was arrested for a crime I didn't commit. My stepbrother was a juggler. My stepbrother was a juggler. Was our stepdaughter the curator? Was our stepdaughter the curator? Was I always an agent? Was I always an agent? They sat on the floor while watching the movie. They sat on the floor while watching the movie. They should be a night watchman every 2 weeks. They should be a night watchman every 2 weeks. We will not focus. We will not focus. I'm going to the dentist. I'm going to the dentist. Aren't we on horseback at sunrise? Aren't we on horseback at sunrise? I don't want to make a fool of myself by drinking too much. I don't want to make a fool of myself by drinking too much. Your grandmother is a comedian. Your grandmother is a comedian. Do you have to design every month? Do you have to design every month? We question. We question. Won't we be done? Won't we be done? I would care. I would care. Doesn't it usually cost? Doesn't it usually cost? Relatives are rulers. Relatives are rulers. Is her stepbrother a translator? Is her stepbrother a translator? All the guests came for the party. All the guests came for the party. Can't I be a doctor at sunrise? Can't I be a doctor at sunrise? Couldn't you have shouted 5 days ago? Couldn't you have shouted 5 days ago? They sat on the floor while watching the movie. They sat on the floor while watching the movie. Can you provide the necessary support? Can you provide the necessary support? Doesn't he come back every day? Doesn't he come back every day? I'm not sure what you want to say. I'm not sure what you want to say. Could it shed last year? Could it shed last year? We must complete. We must complete. He maintains his body by exercising regularly. He maintains his body by exercising regularly. Was it the measure? Was it the measure? I'm in the shower room. I'm in the shower room. You usually exclude. You usually exclude. Did he usually ride? Did he usually ride? Can it reflect? Can it reflect? You will enjoy a nice dinner with your family tonight. You will enjoy a nice dinner with your family tonight. I am sure you will learn many new words in this lesson. I am sure you will learn many new words in this lesson. We can't believe it. We can't believe it. Can't he pull? Can't he pull? Sorry, I didn't hear exactly what you said. Sorry, I didn't hear exactly what you said. Her mother-in-law was a pianist. Her mother-in-law was a pianist. Does not appear. Does not appear. Will he lose every month? Will he lose every month? We listen to music on the way home. We listen to music on the way home. Has this happened to you before? Has this happened to you before? I can't wait to sleep on Saturday. I can't wait to sleep on Saturday. Shouldn't he have preached at all? Shouldn't he have preached at all? I will go because I want to. I will go because I want to. I don't know what your problem is. I don't know what your problem is. They cannot doubt the moon. They cannot doubt the moon. There hasn't been a dean for 5 weekends before. There hasn't been a dean for 5 weekends before. My colleague was a florist. My colleague was a florist. We are hydrologist. We are hydrologist. I'm in the room with the bathtub. I'm in the room with the bathtub. Is her uncle an esthetician? Is her uncle an esthetician? That's not the question. That's not the question. You are not an occasional painter. You are not an occasional painter. I don't want to lose sight of many things. I don't want to lose sight of many things. Didn't you always appreciate? Didn't you always appreciate? Were her grandchildren carers? Were her grandchildren carers? What is your real name? What is your real name? There may be a solution to the problem. There may be a solution to the problem. He may not confess. He may not confess. I'm going to the park to play with my dog. I'm going to the park to play with my dog. 4 minutes later we complain. 4 minutes later we complain. Thank you for your recommendation. Thank you for your recommendation. His grandmother was a urologist. His grandmother was a urologist. I stand in the shop and see the car. I stand in the shop and see the car. Previously associated. Previously associated. Haven't you taken it before? Haven't you taken it before? If it's not scary, I'll go out. If it's not scary, I'll go out. Can we teach in the afternoon? Can we teach in the afternoon? I am currently studying English. I am currently studying English. I was so excited for the party that I couldn't sit still. I was so excited for the party that I couldn't sit still. Was soon under control. Was soon under control. Will it be mining in a minute? Will it be mining in a minute? The international system is based on the principle of sovereign states. The international system is based on the principle of sovereign states. My grandfather is a firefighter. My grandfather is a firefighter. Were their uncles senators? Were their uncles senators? He pointed to the menu with his finger. He pointed to the menu with his finger. Should go to the psychiatrist at dawn. Should go to the psychiatrist at dawn. Should I be a blogger after 5 days? Should I be a blogger after 5 days? He is one of the most important people in my life. He is one of the most important people in my life. You don't direct. You don't direct. We paint weekly. We paint weekly. I am making paints. I am making paints. He's a Tyler soon. He's a Tyler soon. Will publish. Will publish. Your brothers were merchants. Your brothers were merchants. Is his grandson a preacher? Is his grandson a preacher? Did we threaten? Did we threaten? He doesn't teach at 3 a.m. He doesn't teach at 3 a.m. They did not evaluate. They did not evaluate. Didn't they mark? Didn't they mark? Can wake up. Can wake up. Is it kidnapped after 5 weeks? Is it kidnapped after 5 weeks? Not everyday fabricator. Not everyday fabricator. Sorry, I can't help you. Sorry, I can't help you. Not a journeyman in the twilight? Not a journeyman in the twilight? We haven't been better for 10 years. We haven't been better for 10 years. We must abide by the rules and regulations. We must abide by the rules and regulations. Is her grandmother an acrobat? Is her grandmother an acrobat? I don't know if I can handle the truth. I don't know if I can handle the truth. He sought compensation after the accident. He sought compensation after the accident. Should not be retired at dusk. Should not be retired at dusk. Your grandparents are sailors. Your grandparents are sailors. Can I predict 3 weeks ahead? Can I predict 3 weeks ahead? I couldn't stay in jail at noon. I couldn't stay in jail at noon. Should it come monthly? Should it come monthly? Was his father a nurse? Was his father a nurse? Can he make a call after 4 days? Can he make a call after 4 days? I can't escape 10 years. I can't escape 10 years. Shouldn't he be the minister after 5 days? Shouldn't he be the minister after 5 days? Was his brother a landscape architect? Was his brother a landscape architect? The sun was setting behind the mountains and the sky was turning a beautiful orange. The sun was setting behind the mountains and the sky was turning a beautiful orange. Do you babysit often? Do you babysit often? Was I always an agent? Was I always an agent? They may not increase monthly. They may not increase monthly. We can be agents 4 nights ago. We can be agents 4 nights ago. We could go in. We could go in. They can do hairdressing after 1 week. They can do hairdressing after 1 week. Will often be the postman. Will often be the postman. His brothers are captains. His brothers are captains. Walking by the river, I felt a sense of peace. Walking by the river, I felt a sense of peace. Can't you undertake? Can't you undertake? He often cooked. He often cooked. May not take pictures occasionally. May not take pictures occasionally. Was my nephew a golfer? Was my nephew a golfer? Will I quote? Will I quote? Our stepson is a swimmer. Our stepson is a swimmer. He cannot die. He cannot die. Did not appear immediately. Did not appear immediately. Can't we order? Can't we order? How do you say it in English? How do you say it in English? Not everyone is comfortable speaking in public. Not everyone is comfortable speaking in public. Weren't you the manager right away? Weren't you the manager right away? Aren't you normally a physicist? Aren't you normally a physicist? I'm going to the office. I'm going to the office. Can wake up. Can wake up. What time is breakfast served? What time is breakfast served? Don't they remember? Don't they remember? They respond to our request for a quiet place. They respond to our request for a quiet place. I won't be a producer in a month. I won't be a producer in a month. Wouldn't it break at 3 p.m.? Wouldn't it break at 3 p.m.? At noon we have to name. At noon we have to name. Shouldn't sink soon. Shouldn't sink soon. Aren't you born in 15 days? Aren't you born in 15 days? Could he be a warrior next year? Could he be a warrior next year? You wrestled monthly. You wrestled monthly. Civil rights are important to all citizens. Civil rights are important to all citizens. We destroy. We destroy. Sometimes he did. Sometimes he did. Will he rarely teach? Will he rarely teach? Doesn't it help? Doesn't it help? We wouldn't be arrested every week. We wouldn't be arrested every week. They would not meet at sunrise. They would not meet at sunrise. The leader of the group was late, so I took over. The leader of the group was late, so I took over. Should he forget? Should he forget? Are we hiding? Are we hiding? We will force. We will force. Were his neighbors illusionists? Were his neighbors illusionists? Are our grandparents boxers? Are our grandparents boxers? Wish it would. Wish it would. Your grandmother was a teacher. Your grandmother was a teacher. I have a favorite friend who is extra fit and fair. I have a favorite friend who is extra fit and fair. Shouldn't he be a physicist in 3 months? Shouldn't he be a physicist in 3 months? I can't believe I saw this. I can't believe I saw this. Your son is the art director. Your son is the art director. Can I take effect after 1 week? Can I take effect after 1 week? We forget at night. We forget at night. I can feel that you are hiding something from me. I can feel that you are hiding something from me. I have to buy a new car. I have to buy a new car. I need to buy a new briefcase. I need to buy a new briefcase. Didn't he recognize someone earlier in the morning? Didn't he recognize someone earlier in the morning? You either come with me or you stay here. You either come with me or you stay here. Didn't she wait? Didn't she wait? Can it rain silently? Can it rain silently? I have a lot of work to do. I have a lot of work to do. This is a serious issue that needs to be addressed immediately. This is a serious issue that needs to be addressed immediately. Your half-sister was an astronomer. Your half-sister was an astronomer. Should he speak after 3 seconds? Should he speak after 3 seconds? His half-sisters were caregivers. His half-sisters were caregivers. Your stepdaughter was on the jury. Your stepdaughter was on the jury. He will graduate from college next year. He will graduate from college next year. It should be tied next year. It should be tied next year. Doesn't it spill? Doesn't it spill? 3 weeks later becomes a midwife. 3 weeks later becomes a midwife. I'm surprised you can do this. I'm surprised you can do this. The report provides an overview of research on the impact of social media on children and adolescents. The report provides an overview of research on the impact of social media on children and adolescents. Won't it come soon? Won't it come soon? I'm not a Czech. I'm not a Czech. Shouldn't they leave at noon? Shouldn't they leave at noon? Is her husband a civil engineer? Is her husband a civil engineer? I was trying to get a better view. I was trying to get a better view. Did you complete it? Did you complete it? We have to analyze after 1 hour. We have to analyze after 1 hour. The crowd laughed at the lawyer's late arrival. The crowd laughed at the lawyer's late arrival. Will he lie after 4 months? Will he lie after 4 months? Would it conclude? Would it conclude? Can we accept every week? Can we accept every week? Would strain at dawn. Would strain at dawn. I'm in the upstairs room. I'm in the upstairs room. Was her aunt a nurse? Was her aunt a nurse? Our husband was a glazier. Our husband was a glazier. I'm going to the park to walk my dog. I'm going to the park to walk my dog. You will breastfeed once a month. You will breastfeed once a month. We may not be dermatologists at dawn. We may not be dermatologists at dawn. Everything seems to be going wrong. Everything seems to be going wrong. I'm in the room on the left. I'm in the room on the left. I need to take a bath. I need to take a bath. We may not leave 10 years. We may not leave 10 years. Your half-brother was a coach. Your half-brother was a coach. Cannot announce after 5 seconds. Cannot announce after 5 seconds. We impose daily. We impose daily. They can analyze immediately. They can analyze immediately. He is never a cop. He is never a cop. I don't want to lose my magazines for the machine. I don't want to lose my magazines for the machine. Isn't it encouraged every week? Isn't it encouraged every week? We don't comment every day. We don't comment every day. Can't they engineer it later at 5 a.m.? Can't they engineer it later at 5 a.m.? Air traffic controller in 2 hours? Air traffic controller in 2 hours? Injured in the twilight? Injured in the twilight? Will they be voiced after 1 night? Will they be voiced after 1 night? After 4 months it should be taken care of. After 4 months it should be taken care of. You will think 10 years. You will think 10 years. They should be a night watchman every 2 weeks. They should be a night watchman every 2 weeks. Shouldn't I stay sometimes? Shouldn't I stay sometimes? Do you have to answer sooner? Do you have to answer sooner? I do not continue. I do not continue. They should not trade after 2 hours. They should not trade after 2 hours. Don't you listen at dusk? Don't you listen at dusk? Can 10 years joke? Can 10 years joke? You'll see tomorrow. You'll see tomorrow. Will I never be a politician? Will I never be a politician? After 1 night he gets scared. After 1 night he gets scared. Wouldn't he climb every day? Wouldn't he climb every day? I will behave. I will behave. Broke 10 years. Broke 10 years. Rolled over. Rolled over. I have to move out of my parents' house. I have to move out of my parents' house. They cannot allow. They cannot allow. Were their husbands stylists? Were their husbands stylists? Your grandson was. Your grandson was. They wouldn't encourage it at night. They wouldn't encourage it at night. The situation is beyond the limits of human decency. The situation is beyond the limits of human decency. Can't I deny? Can't I deny? Should it be basic? Should it be basic? Rarely have to score points? Rarely have to score points? Will not choose. Will not choose. The city council will vote on the proposal tomorrow. The city council will vote on the proposal tomorrow. I'll tie the atmosphere to the August sun to attract you. I'll tie the atmosphere to the August sun to attract you. Can you evaluate? Can you evaluate? Shouldn't he care? Shouldn't he care? Is her neighbor a choreographer? Is her neighbor a choreographer? Then it could be a baker. Then it could be a baker. Should not be discussed often. Should not be discussed often. Won't there be a weekly professor? Won't there be a weekly professor? They have 2 children. They have 2 children. Is he a songwriter at 5 a.m.? Is he a songwriter at 5 a.m.? We can settle in 3 weeks. We can settle in 3 weeks. He had a gun to protect. He had a gun to protect. Do they mean? Do they mean? Not a journeyman in the twilight? Not a journeyman in the twilight? Need courier next year. Need courier next year. Did we say normal? Did we say normal? We play tennis every day. We play tennis every day. Won't he lose? Won't he lose? Can I compare after 2 months? Can I compare after 2 months? What is your favorite hobby? What is your favorite hobby? Do they have to craft weekly? Do they have to craft weekly? Do you have to include? Do you have to include? Don't you care sometimes? Don't you care sometimes? The job is beyond compare. The job is beyond compare. Will they be important? Will they be important? Aren't they guests at dawn? Aren't they guests at dawn? I can always explore. I can always explore. He will watch the match with his friends at home. He will watch the match with his friends at home. Every day we wouldn't notice. Every day we wouldn't notice. Don't they run? Don't they run? Did it fit 2 nights ago? Did it fit 2 nights ago? Our aunt was on the jury. Our aunt was on the jury. My nose is constantly running and it's really annoying. My nose is constantly running and it's really annoying. Did not behave. Did not behave. Doesn't he suspect? Doesn't he suspect? Will you go later? Will you go later? You can lay tiles after 3 months. You can lay tiles after 3 months. Their wives are postmen. Their wives are postmen. I shouldn't remember. I shouldn't remember. You shouldn't install it after 4 centuries. You shouldn't install it after 4 centuries. Can he answer at sunset? Can he answer at sunset? Did they become a tailor in 2 seconds before? Did they become a tailor in 2 seconds before? I'm not sure I can help you. I'm not sure I can help you. Was my mother a paramedic? Was my mother a paramedic? Can't they be aviators soon? Can't they be aviators soon? Don't you clean often? Don't you clean often? He went to the market to buy food. He went to the market to buy food. Wouldn't it be a weekly challenge? Wouldn't it be a weekly challenge? Do they need to guess? Do they need to guess? We share many interests and have a lot of fun together. We share many interests and have a lot of fun together. Did not explain. Did not explain. Can't you work often? Can't you work often? Didn't I talk? Didn't I talk? I will appoint you. I will appoint you. Was she a stylist 2 years ago? Was she a stylist 2 years ago?